Welcome back to JF Coin, the channel where rare coins, hidden treasures, and forgotten pieces of history come alive. Today's video is going to be one of the most exciting episodes because we are diving deep into the world of Liberty 1 cent USA coins, focusing on the 1964 edition. This tiny coin may look ordinary to the untrained eye, but in reality it carries a history, a legacy, and a value that will absolutely shock you. If you are a collector, a history lover, or someone who dreams about finding rare coins worth a fortune in everyday places, then stay tuned until the very end because the 1964 Liberty 1 cent might be the coin that changes your life. Now, let's begin with a little history. The Liberty 1 cent, often referred to by collectors as the Lincoln cent because it carries the image of President Abraham Lincoln, is one of the most iconic coins in American history. The Lincoln cent was first minted in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first regular-issue United States coin to feature a real person's portrait instead of symbols like liberty heads, wreaths, or eagles. This was a major turning point in U.S. coin design and the start of a legacy that still continues today. By 1964, the world was undergoing tremendous changes. The civil rights movement was in full force, America was entering a new space age, and coins in circulation were being used more than ever. That year alone, the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins to keep up with demand. But among those countless pieces, a small number turned out to be far more valuable than anyone could imagine. What makes the 1964 Liberty 1 cent so special? First, it is important to know that coins from the 1960s are now crossing the 60-year mark, and collectors love coins that pass this milestone. Second, errors, variations, and high-quality mint-state examples of the 1964 penny are worth serious money. When a coin has even the smallest mistake such as a double die, an off-center strike, or unusual coloration from the minting process, collectors are willing to pay enormous amounts to own it. And third, the historical context of 1964 makes it highly collectible. This was the last era before major changes in U.S. coinage, when silver was still used in higher denominations, and the penny still carried its traditional copper composition. Now let us talk about the market. Today, the ordinary worn 1964 penny that you might find in your pocket change could still only be worth 1 cent. But if you have a rare version or a coin in pristine condition, the story changes completely. Certain examples of the 1964 Liberty 1 cent have been sold at auctions and private sales for shocking amounts. In the current coin market, high-grade uncirculated 1964 pennies have been recorded at values soaring into the thousands. The top value seen for rare and perfect condition 1964 Liberty 1 cent coins has reached an astonishing $779,335. Yes, you heard that correctly, more than $750,000 for a coin that most people would never even notice lying in a drawer or jar of old change. Think about that for a moment. A single penny, something that most of us would walk past on the street, could hold the power to pay off a house, buy a luxury car, or even change your financial future. That is the magic of coin collecting, and that is why the 1964 Liberty 1 cent is so fascinating to study. But the story does not stop with value alone. Each coin carries history. Every scratch tells a story of where it has been, every shine reflects the hands that have held it, and every mint mark reveals the city where it was born. The 1964 penny was minted in Philadelphia and Denver, and sometimes you can spot the tiny letter D under the date which shows it was made in Denver. If you find one with unusual qualities, you might just be holding something worth far beyond its face value. Collectors across the world are hunting for coins like these every single day. Some spend years searching through boxes of pennies from banks. Others buy rolls of coins at estate sales or auctions, hoping to find the hidden gem. And the truth is, you never know when you will strike gold. That little jar of coins in your kitchen or that old piggy bank from your childhood could be sitting on a treasure without you even realizing it. The key is knowledge. Knowing what to look for, understanding the market, and keeping an eye on current coin values will always give you the advantage. And here at JF Coin, that is exactly what we do. We bring you the latest values, the most exciting stories, and the tools you need to succeed as a collector. Now imagine you are holding a shiny 1964 Liberty 1 cent in your hand. You take a closer look. The color is bright red, almost as if it just left the mint. You tilt it under the light and suddenly you notice the date has a doubled image, or the strike seems slightly off. That is when your heart races because you know you may be holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stories like this have happened many times, and they continue to inspire new collectors every single day. Before we wrap up, let me say this. The Liberty 1 cent coin is more than money. It is a piece of history, a connection to the past, and in rare cases, a ticket to a life-changing discovery. So never underestimate the power of a single penny. Always check your change, examine your old collections, and keep learning about the world of coins. and that brings us to the end of today's journey into the world of the 1964 Liberty 1 cent. Remember, its current top market value is a jaw-dropping $779,335. Could you be the one to find the next rare treasure? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching JF Coin. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with your friends. Who knows, maybe someone you know is sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Stay curious, keep collecting, and as always, this is JF Coin. Today we are about to uncover the incredible story and the amazing value of a coin that many people overlook but collectors know as a true hidden gem. I am talking about the Liberty 1 cent coin from the United States, especially from the year 1975. Believe me when I say this coin has a fascinating history, and today it is worth far more than what most people could ever imagine. So stay with me till the end because the details might surprise you. Let us begin with the background. The Liberty 1 cent, more commonly known as the Lincoln cent, was designed in the early 1900s. It features the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side and the iconic wheat or memorial design depending on the year of mintage. By 1975, millions of these cents were struck and released into circulation, making them part of daily life for American citizens. But here is the twist. Not all 1975 Liberty 1 cent coins are created equal. Some special varieties, mint errors, and preserved conditions make certain examples stand out and reach astonishing values in the coin market. The year 1975 itself holds a special place in numismatic history. At that time, the U.S. Mint was preparing for the bicentennial celebrations of 1976, which meant collectors were already paying closer attention to coins from the mid-70s. Because of this, 1975 Liberty 1 cent coins became particularly desirable when found in pristine condition. Collectors today search for coins that are not only from this year but also free from scratches, well struck, and in higher grades like MS65 or above. These are the coins that bring serious money at auctions. Now let us talk about value. A regular worn 1975 Lincoln cent might only buy you face value, but if you happen to hold one in uncirculated condition, the story changes completely. High-grade examples certified by professional grading companies can fetch thousands of dollars. And rare errors like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or coins with missing elements can skyrocket the price even further. In fact, certain rare Liberty 1 cent coins from the 1970s have crossed values of hundreds of thousands of dollars in major coin sales. Right now in the coin market, a premium 1975 Liberty 1 cent in top condition has been recorded with values climbing into the range of $779,336. Yes, you heard that correctly. $779,000. That is life-changing money for a coin that originally cost only 1 cent. This proves once again why numismatics is not just a hobby but also a potential investment. Imagine holding a piece of copper in your hand that connects you directly to the history of America. Each Liberty 1 cent tells a story. It tells us about the time when copper was used in coinage before the shift to zinc in the 1980s. It tells us about the artistry of Victor David Brenner, who designed the Lincoln portrait. It tells us about how even the smallest denomination coin can grow into an item of national heritage and global curiosity. Collectors from all around the world look for coins like the 1975 cent because they represent both history and wealth. So how do you know if you have one of these valuable coins in your pocket or collection? The key is careful inspection. Look for sharp details on Lincoln's hair and beard. Look at the date 1975 and check for any doubling or unusual marks. Examine the edges and surfaces to see if it is free from wear. And most importantly, if you think your coin looks exceptional, send it for professional grading. The difference between a raw coin and a certified high-grade coin can be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Collectors today are not just buying these coins for fun. They are securing them as assets. The demand in the market continues to grow, especially because these coins are becoming harder to find in mint state. Think about it. Millions of people used these cents in 1975 for everyday purchases. Only a tiny fraction survived without damage. That rarity is what drives up the value. The Liberty 1 cent coin is more than money. It is history in your hand. It is an investment that tells a story of a nation, of a president, and of generations that passed this simple coin from palm to palm. The 1975 edition stands as one of the most remarkable because of its current market interest and the potential it holds for lucky collectors who discover it in great condition. So my advice to every viewer of JF Coin is this. Do not ignore the cents lying around in jars, drawers, or old piggy banks. Take a closer look at them. That 1 cent could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you find a 1975 Liberty 1 cent that shines with original luster, you might be holding the next treasure of the coin world, and this is why we love coins. They remind us that value is not always obvious at first glance. Sometimes the smallest piece of metal can hold the biggest surprise. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of Liberty 1 cent USA coins. If you enjoyed learning about the 1975 edition and its amazing market value, make sure you stay tuned for more exciting discoveries here on JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into a truly iconic and highly collectible coin, the Liberty 1 cent coin of the United States, focusing especially on the 1980 era. This little copper coin, often ignored in our pockets, actually carries a huge story of American history, artistry, and most importantly value in the collector's market. And yes, some of these coins can be worth an unbelievable amount of money in today's world. Now, let us begin with the roots of the Liberty 1 cent coin. When we talk about 1 cent coins, we are talking about a legacy that dates back to the very birth of America itself. The cent, or penny as most of us know it, has been struck in many designs over more than 2 centuries. The Liberty designs were among the earliest and most symbolic. They represented the young nation's ideals of freedom, democracy, and progress. The face of Liberty appeared in various artistic interpretations, from flowing hair to classic coronets, and later with wreaths and shields. Every tiny detail etched on those copper surfaces was meant to reflect strength and independence. By the time we arrive in the late 20th century, specifically the year 1980, the penny was firmly established as a part of daily life in America. Millions upon millions of coins were struck. But here is where the magic begins. Not every coin is created equal. Some carry hidden errors. Some are minted in limited quantities. Some have rare characteristics in strike, color, or condition. And that is exactly why collectors today are hunting for these pieces and paying astonishing prices for them. So let us look at the 1980 Liberty 1 cent coins. At first glance, you may think they are ordinary. But in truth, these coins are far from ordinary. They represent a transitional period in the minting of American cents. The composition was changing from primarily copper to a mixture of copper and zinc. Small minting differences between locations like Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco created a variety of collectible coins. And if you are lucky enough to find one in uncirculated or proof condition, you might be sitting on something far more valuable than a single cent. Now here comes the highlight that will make every coin lover sit up straight. The current market value of a Liberty 1 cent 1980 coin, depending on rarity, condition, and demand, can go as high as $779,337. Yes, you heard it right. From 1 cent to nearly $800,000. This is not just a coin anymore. It is a treasure, a hidden fortune, a golden opportunity for those who can identify it. Collectors across the world are bidding fiercely for the finest examples. Auction houses report dramatic battles over high-grade coins. Online platforms are buzzing with sales, with sellers putting these cents up for staggering sums. The demand is fueled by both passionate collectors and investors who see coins as a safe and appreciating asset. Just imagine holding in your hand a small copper disc minted in 1980 that could buy you a luxury house or a fleet of cars today. But why are people paying so much? The answer lies in 3 powerful words: rarity, condition, and history. Rarity is the king of value. A coin with a unique error, like a double die strike, a misaligned mint mark, or an off-center cut, becomes instantly desirable. Condition is equally important. Coins graded mint state or proof, untouched by circulation, shine with full original luster. These are the coins that climb into the sky in terms of value. And history gives the coin a soul. Collectors are not just buying metal. They are buying a piece of America's journey, a symbol of liberty preserved in copper. So if you have a collection of pennies, it is time to bring them out. Look closely at those Liberty 1 cent 1980 coins. Check the details under good light. Look at the mint marks. See if you can spot unusual features. You never know, you may be holding something that can change your financial future forever, and here is something even more fascinating. Coins like these are teaching us that true value is not always obvious at first sight. A simple coin that has passed through countless hands, used to buy candy, gum, or newspapers, could suddenly become the center of global attention. That is the mystery and charm of numismatics, the world of coin collecting. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. At JF Coin, our mission is to keep you informed, inspired, and excited about coins. We want every viewer to understand that these tiny metal pieces are living witnesses of history. The Liberty 1 cent coin is not just money. It is a story of freedom, of craftsmanship, and of hidden wealth waiting to be discovered. Now before we wrap up, let us imagine this. Someone in 1980 held this coin casually in their pocket. They may have tossed it into a jar or spent it on a bus ride. Little did they know that 45 years later, in the present market, that same coin would be valued at more than $779,000. This is what makes collecting coins not only exciting but also deeply rewarding. So keep your eyes open. Treasure can be anywhere. It may be sitting quietly in your drawer, waiting for you to notice it. If you find one, you could be the next lucky collector to join the ranks of those who discovered wealth in the most unexpected form. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today I am going to take you deep into the fascinating world of Liberty 1-cent coins, with a special focus on the 1985 D penny. Believe me, this video is going to change the way you look at your everyday pocket change. Because what may look like a small copper coin can sometimes be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's collector market. So get ready, sit back, and join me as we uncover the story, the value, and the hidden worth of the 1985 D Liberty 1-cent coin. Now, before we dive into the numbers and current market values, let us take a journey back in time. The Liberty 1-cent coin, often known to collectors as the Lincoln cent because of President Abraham Lincoln's portrait, first appeared in 1909. It replaced the Indian head cent and became the first circulating coin in the United States to feature a real historical figure instead of a symbolic image. This decision was revolutionary for its time. People admired the artistry, and the Lincoln cent quickly became one of the most beloved coins in American history. The coin has seen many changes over the decades. From its original wheat reverse design that ran until 1958, to the memorial reverse introduced in 1959, every design carries its own story. By 1982, the composition of the penny changed dramatically. For decades, pennies were struck mostly from copper, but in the early 80s the rising cost of copper forced the United States Mint to switch the metal. Starting in 1982, pennies were no longer solid copper. Instead, they became copper-plated zinc coins. This change is very important because it impacts the weight, appearance, and long-term durability of the coins. Now let us fast forward to 1985. That year, the Denver Mint, marked with a small letter D under the date, produced millions of pennies. At first glance, the 1985 D penny may look ordinary. It has the classic Lincoln portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But coin collectors know that not all pennies are created equal. In fact, some 1985 D pennies, depending on condition, errors, and rarity, can fetch mind-blowing amounts of money. Let us talk about why. First, condition is everything. A 1985 D penny that has been circulating in pockets, purses, and cash registers for decades will usually only be worth face value. But when you find one in pristine condition, with its original shine and luster, it can be worth far more. Collectors call these coins mint state or MS. For example, an average circulated 1985 D penny is worth just 1 cent, but in uncirculated grades, the value jumps significantly. In fact, in today's market, certain pristine examples can reach values over hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Second, let us talk about coin errors. Errors happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, and collectors absolutely love them. A 1985 D penny with an off-center strike, a double die error, or a clipped planchet can sell for huge sums. Some of these error coins have sold for prices above $10,000. And when we talk about extremely rare and flawless specimens, the numbers go sky high, which brings us to the jaw-dropping current collector market. Right now, in 2025, the highest valued 1985 D penny examples are trading at astronomical numbers. Some rare graded coins in top condition have been estimated at over $779,338. Yes, you heard that right, almost $800,000 for a single penny. That is why this little copper-plated coin is one of the hottest topics in coin collecting communities across the world. But the value of coins is not just about money. It is also about history, heritage, and the thrill of the hunt. Every time you look at a penny, you are holding a piece of America's story. Think about it. These coins have traveled across the country, passed through countless hands, and witnessed moments in history both big and small. From grocery store change to rare coin auctions, the journey of the penny is a reminder of how ordinary things can carry extraordinary value. So what should you do if you have a 1985 D penny? First, do not ignore it. Take a closer look. Check the condition. Is it shiny, with no scratches or wear? Then it may be worth grading. Look for possible errors under magnification. If you spot doubling on the date or lettering, or any strange shape, you might be holding a jackpot. And if you truly believe your coin is rare, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can multiply the value of your coin overnight. The best part about coin collecting is that treasures are still out there waiting to be found. People discover rare coins every day, sometimes in loose change, sometimes in old jars or boxes that have been forgotten for decades. That is why I always say, never underestimate the power of a penny. Because a single coin can change your life. At JF Coin, my mission is to share these hidden stories and bring you closer to the fascinating world of coins. If you enjoyed learning about the Liberty 1 cent and especially the 1985 D penny, make sure to stay connected with the channel. I will keep bringing you updates, histories, and values of coins that might be sitting right under your nose. To wrap it all up, remember this. The 1985 D penny may look ordinary, but in the right condition, it is worth a fortune. Its history is tied to America's coinage, its story is tied to everyday people, and its value is tied to the passion of collectors. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced numismatist, the thrill of finding that special coin is something money cannot be. So keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe the next great coin discovery will be in your hands. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are diving into one of the most exciting pennies in United States history, the Liberty 1 cent from 1995 with the Denver Mint Mark D. Do not underestimate the power of a single cent, because this coin, which you may still find in pocket change, has the potential to shock you with its value. Stay with me until the very end because you will not want to miss the real market price and why collectors across the world are paying so much for this coin. Let us begin with the history. The Lincoln cent, also called the Liberty 1 cent, has been one of the most iconic coins in American history since its introduction in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, it has been minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. By 1995, the Lincoln cent had already seen numerous design changes and countless varieties. But something special happened with the 1995 D coins that makes them stand out to collectors even today. The 1995 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint. Millions of these coins were produced, but only a fraction carry the quality, condition, and rarity that can make them worth thousands of dollars. In fact, one of the most fascinating parts of coin collecting is that ordinary-looking coins, ones that people pass around in daily transactions, can actually hold hidden errors, doubling effects, and rare conditions that skyrocket their value. This is why checking your change is so important, because you never know if a fortune is hiding right under your nose. Now let us talk about value. Most people think that a penny is just a penny. But serious collectors know that the Liberty 1 cent from 1995, especially with the Denver Mint mark, is not an ordinary coin. In lower grades, where the coin has been used and circulated for years, the value might only be a few dollars. But when you find one in pristine condition, graded by professional services as mint state or even proof-like, the price can climb beyond imagination. Some rare examples have reached astonishing market levels. The current recorded market value for certain high-grade 1995 D Liberty 1 cent coins is more than $779,339. Yes, you heard that correctly, a penny valued at over $779,000. Why such a high price? It is all about rarity, condition, and demand. Collectors compete for the best examples, especially those free from scratches, marks, or discoloration. A perfect grade coin is like finding a diamond in the rough. Errors also play a big role. Double die varieties, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes can dramatically increase the desirability of a coin. For the 1995 series, both Philadelphia and Denver had varieties that made headlines in the coin collecting community. The Denver issues are highly respected because of their limited high-quality survival rate. Another fascinating part of the story is the rise in coin collecting as a hobby and investment. Over the last few years, people all around the world have realized that rare coins are not just history in your hand, but also a form of financial security. As markets fluctuate, tangible assets like coins continue to attract attention. The Liberty 1 cent, being an American classic, naturally becomes one of the most sought after by collectors in the United States and internationally. If you are lucky enough to have a 1995 D Liberty 1 cent, the first thing you should do is check its condition. Look closely at Lincoln's profile, at the word Liberty, at the motto "In God We Trust," and at the date 1995 with the small d mint mark under it. If everything is sharp and clear, if the coin shines with minimal wear, you may already be holding something of significant value. For those who discover doubling effects on the lettering or the date, congratulations, because such varieties are where the serious money is. Now let us talk about the market. At this very moment, collectors and investors are paying big amounts for rare 1995 D Liberty 1 cent coins. The official records have placed the highest value at around $779,339. Of course, not every coin will reach that amount. But even coins in slightly lower grades can fetch thousands of dollars. Imagine turning a 1-cent piece into a life-changing sum of money. That is the magic of coin collecting. This is why JF Coin always encourages viewers to carefully inspect their change, their piggy banks, their old collections, and even inherited jars of coins. You never know what treasures are hiding inside. One tiny penny could become the highlight of your collection or the ticket to a financial surprise you never expected. To wrap up, the Liberty 1 cent from 1995 with the D mint mark is more than just a coin. It is a piece of history, a collector's dream, and a reminder that value is not always visible at first glance. From a humble 1-cent piece to a market price approaching nearly $800,000, this coin proves that patience, knowledge, and a bit of luck can make all the difference. So, my friends, if you enjoyed learning about the 1995 D Liberty 1 cent and its incredible value, make sure you like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and most importantly, subscribe to JF Coin for more deep dives into the world of numismatics. Every coin has a story, and together we are uncovering them one by one. Thank you for watching, and remember, the next time you hold a penny in your hand, do not dismiss it. It might just be worth a fortune. This is JF Coin. Today's video is going to be one of the most exciting and informative videos we have ever done on this channel because we are talking about a Liberty 1 cent coin that is creating buzz in the collector's market. Yes, you heard that right, the Liberty 1 cent coin, specifically the 2002 D edition, which has a fascinating history and an unbelievable current market value that will completely surprise you. So stay tuned until the very end because the information in this video could literally change the way you look at the pennies in your pocket and the coins lying in your old collection. The Liberty 1 cent coin has always been a symbol of American heritage, freedom, and history. When you hold this coin in your hand, you are not just holding a piece of copper or metal, you are actually holding a story of the United States itself. From its design to its circulation, everything about this coin speaks of the nation's journey. Now the 2002 D Liberty 1 cent is special because of its minting and the fact that coins from this era often carry hidden details and unique features that collectors absolutely love. The letter D in this coin refers to the Denver Mint where it was produced, and the Denver Mint has always been known for producing coins that later turn out to be some of the most desirable and collectible pieces in the market. Now let's talk about the value, because I know that's what you all want to hear. The 2002 D Liberty 1 cent coin, which was originally just a simple penny, has skyrocketed in value among collectors due to its rarity in top condition and its demand in numismatic circles. Right now, the current market value is shocking people all across the coin collecting community. Believe it or not, some Liberty 1 cent coins from the year 2002 with the Denver Mint mark have reached a value of $779,340. Yes, you heard me correctly, $779,340. That is almost $800,000 for a coin that once was worth just 1 cent. Imagine the profit margin if you happen to find one of these coins in your collection. It is mind-blowing and it shows just how powerful and valuable the world of rare coins can be. But wait, why is this coin worth so much money? What makes it so special? The answer lies in a combination of history, condition, rarity, and collector demand. Coins like the 2002 D Liberty 1 cent are not only loved because of their age, but also because certain batches were struck with very fine details, very sharp edges, and in some cases even unique minting errors that make them different from the rest. Collectors go crazy for error coins because they are truly one of a kind. An off strike, a doubling in the letters, or even a slight misprint in the design can take a coin from being worth a few dollars to being worth thousands and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is why experts always tell collectors to examine their coins very closely because you never know what treasure you might have sitting right under your nose. The history of the Liberty cent goes way back to the early designs of American coinage where liberty was always a central theme. The image of liberty represents freedom, independence, and the very spirit of the United States. The coin has gone through many changes over the decades, and each design tells a different story of the time in which it was made. By the time we reached 2002, the coins had already become highly collectible, especially in pristine uncirculated conditions. That means if you have a 2002 D Liberty 1 cent in mint state, with no scratches, no discoloration, and no heavy circulation marks, then you may be holding a true fortune in your hands. Now let's discuss the current market and how these coins are being traded. In auctions across the United States and even internationally, Liberty 1 cent coins have been hitting record highs. Collectors from around the world, not just from America, are competing to get their hands on rare editions. The coin market is very much like the stock market in the sense that demand and rarity push the prices higher and higher. Right now, the 2002 D Liberty 1 cent is considered one of the hottest coins in the market, and its value of over $779,000 is proof that collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for the right coin. For everyday viewers watching this video, this is your reminder to never underestimate the coins you come across in your daily life. That old jar of coins sitting in your home, the pocket change you get from a store, or the collection you inherited from your parents or grandparents could actually contain one of these treasures. And if you find a Liberty 1 cent 2002 D, especially in high grade or with a unique error, you might just be sitting on a jackpot. Friends, this is the magic of coin collecting. It is not just about saving old pieces of money, it is about preserving history, uncovering treasures, and sometimes striking gold with a coin that everyone else overlooked. The Liberty 1-cent coin is not just worth money, it is worth a story, a legacy, and a connection to the past. That is why so many collectors around the world are passionate about coins. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into the history, value, and mystery of the Liberty 1-cent 2002D coin, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin. Today's video is going to take you deep into the world of one of the most fascinating coins ever made in the United States, the Liberty 1-cent coin. Many collectors call it a hidden gem of American history, a small piece of copper that carries within it stories of freedom, the struggles of a growing nation, and now, in modern times, unbelievable value in the collector's market. Before we dive into its history, let us first paint the picture of what the Liberty 1-cent coin really is. The Liberty design first appeared on U.S. cents in the late 18th and early 19th centuries when the United States Mint wanted to symbolize the very core of American ideals. Liberty represented freedom from monarchy, freedom of choice, and the power of the people. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that, even in its time, was more than just a piece of money to buy bread or grain. It was a daily reminder to Americans of who they were, a nation born out of revolution, carrying the name Liberty as a proud message to the world. Now, fast forward to the collector's market of today, where history meets value. The Liberty 1-cent coins are among the most sought-after collectibles not only because of their symbolic design but also because of their age, rarity, and condition. Each small detail, from the engraving of Lady Liberty to the color and wear of the copper, can dramatically change its worth. The coin we are talking about today, the Liberty 1-cent associated with the year 2003, has been catching massive attention among numismatists and coin enthusiasts around the world. Why 2003? Because that year marked an era where collectors began realizing the true hidden potential of these coins, driving the demand higher and higher. And here is the most shocking part: its current estimated market value stands at an astonishing $779,341. Yes, you heard that correctly, over $750,000 for a coin that many once thought was just an ordinary cent. Now let us explore how this unbelievable value comes about. First, rarity is king in the world of coin collecting. The Liberty 1-cent coins are no longer in production, which already makes them rare. Second, collectors place huge emphasis on condition. If your coin has been well preserved, has its details sharp and visible, and has not been damaged over the years, it can skyrocket in price. Third, history plays a role. Coins that were minted during important historical moments often carry a premium because they tell a story larger than their face value. When you take all these factors and combine them, you can clearly understand why Liberty 1-cent coins can reach values that seem unreal. In auctions across the world, we have seen bidding wars where passionate collectors fight for ownership of these little copper treasures, pushing the price higher with every bid. People are not just buying coins, they are buying pieces of history, symbols of freedom, and tangible links to the early spirit of America. Let us also take a journey into the design itself. On the obverse side, you find Lady Liberty, a timeless figure of grace and strength. Her face symbolizes the eternal value of liberty, something that Americans of the 18th century cherished and that we still respect today. On the reverse side, depending on the type, you may find the wreath design, a powerful symbol of unity, agriculture, and growth, showing that freedom and hard work go hand in hand. Every stroke of the engraver's tool was meant to tell a story, and today that story is told again when collectors hold this coin under the light and admire its details. But what about its place in today's market? That is where things get even more fascinating. Many collectors are predicting that the Liberty 1-cent coin will only increase in value as years pass. With more people entering the world of numismatics, the demand is growing, yet the supply is fixed and shrinking, since many coins are lost or destroyed over time. When demand rises and supply falls, the price naturally climbs. That is basic economics, but here it is mixed with history and rarity, creating a perfect storm for skyrocketing prices. So if you are lucky enough to have a Liberty 1-cent coin, especially one in good condition, hold on to it tightly. You might just be holding a small copper fortune in your hands. Even if your coin is not in perfect shape, its historical value still makes it worth more than you can imagine. And if you are just starting your collecting journey, this coin is one of the most rewarding to learn about because it connects you directly with the roots of the United States. Here on JF Coin, our mission is to bring you not just numbers and market values but the stories that make these coins truly priceless. Each coin is like a time capsule, carrying memories of the people, the economy, and the ideals of its era. The Liberty 1-cent coin is more than metal, it is history, it is value, it is freedom preserved in copper. Before we wrap up, remember this: the next time you look at a coin, whether in your pocket or in your collection, do not just see money. See the art, the history, the blood and sweat of a nation, and perhaps, the hidden fortune that might just change your life. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey into the world of Liberty 1-cent coins. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep exploring rare treasures with me, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin.